Good evening and welcome to episode 40 of the Nicola Valley Talk, a podcast provided by Tourism Nicola Valley, Experience Nicola Valley, and Experience Merritt. Nicola Valley Talk is a broadcast live every Thursday at 7 p.m. from Merritt, British Columbia, Canada. Nicola Valley Talk is part of the Experience Nicola Valley program. The same program just won the 2021 Canada Prestige Award for the Best Marketing Program of the Year and the Best Community Project Award for communities under 20,000 people by the BCEDA, British Columbia Economic Development Association. My name is Melvina White, and I'm your host tonight of the award-winning Nicola Valley Talk, and working the camera in the control room is Tanya Stewart. Tonight, we're going to talk real estate in the Nicola Valley with Doug Beech of Century 21.
Hi, Melvina. How you doing?
I'm good, Doug. How are you? Thank you for coming on the show.
No problem.
There's so much to talk about, Doug, so let's get to the questions. Can you please share with us and our viewers a little bit about who is Doug Beech?
Do you want me to go back to my birth? Anyway, I was born in Vancouver and lived my elementary school life in Burnaby and Coquitlam, and then moved to Victoria. Graduated from Centennial High School, first graduating class there, and then went to Simon Fraser the year after and got a degree 4 years later. Moved to Victoria, was an editor of a sports newspaper for a year and a half, and then I thought it might be wise to find something that paid more. So I went back to university for my education degree, got that, and then I made my move to Merritt. And boy, was I in for some surprises, to say the least. Yeah. So anyway, I remember coming into Merritt in the 1975, and it was very odd. I came in down by Norgard's Ready Mix, and here's a road named Nicola Avenue, and it was all gravel. There was no sidewalks. Gravel was as wide as where the sidewalks are, and the meridians were not there. So I'm wondering, what the hell is this? I mean, it was like a 5-lane, 6-lane gravel highway going to the middle of where. So I drive on, got to a 4-way stop. By the way, back then, Merritt did not have any traffic lights. Oh, sorry. They might have had a traffic light maybe at Colchana and Vote, maybe. I thought I was in a 1-horse town and there was no horse. Yeah, you've got to laugh at that. That's funny. So anyway, I remember once my father and brother came up to visit and go fishing. And something peculiar happened to them on the way back down. Every vehicle we passed in town, there was people waving. They're all doing this. This is known as the Merritt Wave. And my father said, well, who was that? I said, I have no clue. But everybody I drive by, they do this wave. They've been doing it since I got here. So I asked some of my students what this was. They said, oh, everybody in Merritt waves at everybody else. The driver will just hold onto the wheel and give you a little flick like this, but the passengers will wave as if they know you. Well, I didn't know any of them. Anyway, my father was taken back by that, and he and my brother go back to Victoria, and they tried to start the Victoria wave. Passed it on to their friends. It didn't get off quite as well as the Merritt one did. But anyway, it was something unusual, to say the least. When I was asked to come here to teach, I actually turned Merritt down 3 times. And that's very unusual. Normally, if they ask you and you turn them down, they don't phone you back. So anyway, they phoned me the 4th time, and I says, yeah, I think I will. I've done some research. Had to make sure there was baseball here. If there was no baseball here, I wasn't coming. And there was. John Paul and Mickey O'Hara and Joe Geel. A lot of these guys were involved with the baseball at that time. So I came up, and I wound up at Vote Park before I even went to the school. And there was a young man throwing a football there, and he was throwing like 50 or 60 yards. And I says, oh, Jesus, you should have got an arm. He says, oh, yeah, I'm in grade 12 at school. And here it was Eddie Beers. We all know Eddie Beers, of course. So anyway, I go to the school, and principal, who I'd already met unknowingly. I had actually not even advertised my fact that I wanted to go to Merritt. I wanted to go to Princeton, of all places. And the Princeton guy was sick, and he just happened to be doing the interviews for Princeton. So he was so high on my geography remarks and stuff that he says, so I want you as my geography teacher. That's another reason why I came. They wouldn't stop. I mean, it was, like I say, unusual. So anyway, I'd been told in university that first year teachers, you would be stuck walking around from classroom to classroom carrying books and such. And that wasn't what happened at all. Mr. Cates, the principal, took me down to my homeroom. I had a grade 12 homeroom, which I thought was pretty darn good. I did not have to move from that room. I was very impressed by the whole situation. So I honestly thought that at the beginning that I would be here 2 years and then I would leave, and I'm still here. And that comes down not so much to the town, but the people that live in it. I was very, very impressed. This was not like many of the people I'd known in big cities. They were very friendly, and it goes back to that Merritt wave. I mean, they really, really showed everybody what they were like, and very friendly and helpful. So that's about it for that. I started real estate in 2005. I wasn't planning on quitting teaching at that time. I thought I'd do both at the same time, but I got to the end of a semester and things were going so well in the real estate that I decided to go into full time. I wound up buying the franchise off of Mr. Oborn about 2 years later, and we moved it to our present location on Boat Street. So that's about it.
And now you're still in real estate today at Century
Absolutely.
21 as the owner of Century 21.
That's correct. I don't plan on moving or retiring anytime soon either.
So providing the real estate service to Merritt, the Nicola Valley and surrounding areas, reaching as far as Nicola Lake, Stump Lake, Cane Valley, and Sunshine Valley, what makes this region so attractive to home buyers?
Well, there's a whole bunch of things, obviously. I mean, climate has always been a big one. The positioning, too. Now, we didn't always have the Coquihalla here. That came in 86, I believe. So we had a small town with a railway. I remember when I was teaching at 12 o'clock every day, the train would be coming through and blowing the horn because he was getting to the crossing. And all the kids would know they had 5 more minutes of Mr. Beach until it was lunchtime. Anyway, we also offer here so many country experiences. I mean, anything to do with the outdoors, fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, bike riding, quad riding in the winter, snowmobiling. We offer all that. I mean, that's something that a city guy like I never experienced those things. So I would think once the Coke came in, I think it was location. Everybody expected when the Coke came in for us to explode in population. It didn't happen. We got some bad things with the Coke being here. I would say our crime levels and stuff might have gone up a bit. Why people didn't come here, I don't know. Being central like we are just a few, maybe an hour away from Kamloops, hour and a bit from Kelowna, 2.5 hours from Vancouver, and the ferry to Victoria. It's just a perfect setting that you would think that people would want to come here. So what's happened recently, that's another story, but you're going to get to that with another question, I'm sure.
Well, I was just going to say, with my years in the real estate market, I haven't quite seen anything like that's happening right now, and I can't keep up to the skyrocketing house prices, and not just in Merritt, but across Canada. And according to the Canadian Real Estate Association, British Columbia is the most expensive province as far as average house prices go. Merritt's seen house prices jump over 250% from 2004 to 2020.
Yeah.
What do you make what do you make of that?
Well, I just had discussions with a writer from Maclean's magazine. He came up to Langley to write a story about the same question you've asked. And somebody down there said, phone Doug Beech and Merritt because it's gone nuts there. So he did, and I've given him a lot of information. As far as, and this is just strictly my opinion, lots of things contributed to this here. One, we have had no vacancies when it comes to rentals. We've had very small number in more recent months for listings. Our apartments are not, we had one place burned down, another one's not finished being built. Lots of peculiar things like that. Well, COVID, whether we like it or not, was the number one reason why this occurred. There are people at the coast that would love for their families to be able to go to an area that are not as deeply involved with COVID as they are down there. And Merritt, even though we've had what we think are big numbers, they're certainly lower than many of the places like Surrey, for example. So I think what they wanted to come to an area where they would feel more safe. Some of them are looking or were looking for acreages. Those are getting very hard to find. That's how many sales have occurred in that respect. I talked to 2 or 3 of them about why they came, and they want a place to bring their families where the kids can actually go and walk around on an acreage, not worry about neighbors, maybe not even wear masks because they're out in the country not seeing anybody. So whether or not that is the right thing to be saying, that's their thought process. So anyway, we have had a shortage of houses. We've had just in very recent weeks, we've had bidding wars on raw lots up above, up above Gasoline Alley, I call it. And right now there might be one lot left for sale there. For years, we had plenty of lots for sale there. So again, why all at the same time? I'm sorry, I don't know that answer. I'm saying COVID was the main part of it, but why are they all coming now? Maybe low interest rates, but low interest rates help everybody everywhere. So it can't be just that. Our inventory right now, it's very, very low. So it's not like there's an attraction that they can come here and find what they're looking for, because even that's difficult now. So right now it's looking not bleak, but what I told the Maclean's writer, I said 2 years ago, each company here, there's 3 major companies here, each one of them would have 2 pages of listings. There's 50 listings on a page. So I asked my office manager, and she said, oh God, sometimes we were up to 3 or 4 pages. Well, we're now talking in the hundreds of listings. Right now, today, I believe we've got 27. I think Royal LePage has got 21, and I believe Remax has got 13. Well, that's not even 1 page, right? Well, it might be. I guess it's just a little bit over 1 page. That's way below what we normally have. So I think we're going to see something bad happening here for a while, that being that we're not going to be able to have enough product to sell. But that's going to be just a short duration thing. We've got some developers that are that are looking and have bought properties where they're going to be building houses and townhouses and more apartments. I can't give out names and I can't give out numbers, but it seems to be an exciting time coming where lots of building is going to be going on. I think.
So
go ahead.
So that'll bring to the next question of, I guess we could, the question was going to be what is available in the real estate market to assist and make housing affordable for young adults starting out and for new families? I think that question should be rephrased, and is there anything coming down the pipe for young families and young adults starting out in the market?
Yes.
Are they even going to be able to get into the market the way things are going?
See, those are 2 or 3 different questions. Why it's going to be difficult. The average worker, for example, most likely isn't going to be able to afford the new homes because the new home prices are going up dramatically. The cost of lumber, all the building costs are going up. So being in that way, I mean, not too many workers can afford like $400,000 or $500,000, $600,000 homes. So we're going to need some, not lower end. We're going to need some stuff that's new, but it maybe not as big. Maybe the yards aren't as big. Apartments, possibly. That's going to be the thing of the future, I think, for the majority of those young people you're talking about. Unless they've inherited money or something, I don't know how a young person's going to be. They're going to have a tough time getting through here unless they get some rentals, and we need more of those.
One of our viewers is asking, what about a crash? Some say a crash is imminent. What's your take on that?
Talk when something when it's this active, correct? I cannot foresee the future. It would take, for this to change dramatically, it would take something terrible to happen in the United States or Canada, the government or somebody asking for interest rates, for example, which are very low right now, to go up to 6 or 7%. I mean, my God, that would make a huge difference with what's going on. People still have to work. We've got businesses that are coming here. They're going to have decent paying jobs. But again, with the housing crisis the way it is, we're going to have to get building real quick, and we're going to have to hit housing to meet all needs, not just the houses on big lots.
Merritt's population grew 3% overall between 2006 and 2016, with a 9% growth projected from 2016 to 2025, about 1% per year. The household totals grew nearly 10% from 2,975 in 2006 to 3,260 by 2016. Yeah. It's estimated that Merritt may possibly reach 3,840 households by 2025. What would you like to see the housing market look like in 2025?
See this here, Melvina, can you see that?
Yeah.
This is the Merritt Housing Needs Report that was made. I've read through this several times. I don't think they expected what has happened to have happened. The reason why industry and even housing and things didn't catch up to where they should be, we didn't have the electrical. Our electrical was upgraded just a few years ago. We didn't have high-speed internet. We've got those things now. So what I think is going to happen is that the city is going to have to start doing some of the things that are in this book. And there are suggestions in the Appendix A, and there's several pages of stuff that the city might have to do in order to get the building going quicker, because that's what we're going to need. And we do have people that have already got land or are in the process of buying land, and they're going to have to not be given incentives, but they're going to have to be able to proceed quicker than what I think is going to happen immediately. Because, for example, we have a building inspector. We had a building inspector, a level 3 inspector. He has now gone to Princeton, but is working on weekends and his evenings coming here to try to catch up. And then we've got a worker that we the city hired for planning. Amazing guy. This is a man that came to town, and he's putting in way more hours than what he gets paid for. That's maybe the best way of putting it. His name is Don MacArthur, and if anybody talks to him, you're going to find out exactly how much is going on here if you pose that question to him. There's a ton of stuff going on. The only thing is that he is the only one that's dealing with those things right now. He and Monica, who assists him, they're going to need additional help. They're going to need builders that are going to be willing to build some of these plants. Bartman's as an example. They're coming here and they are going to have only 10 employees, but they're going to have a huge tax base. And again, that's something that the city needs, because a lot of the public are upset about house taxes, for example. And boy, they're way really high, they're saying. Well, if we continue on the way it is, they're going to get higher. And the best way to alleviate the problem for the house owners is for more businesses to come in. And they're right at the moment, there are quite a few. I can't give out the names, but there's quite a few that have already purchased land or are purchasing land. And their plans are to be coming here. And then with them, of course, are going to be new workers. We don't have a large workforce here.
No, and I have talked to some people that have said that there's been a couple of potential builders that have put things on hold because of the price of lumber. Is that something you're hearing, or?
I've heard the same thing. I've heard some ridiculous numbers. I don't know if they're true, but I've heard them from clients that are looking for houses. They said they phoned builders and they've been told $300 a square foot. That is unheard of numbers, but I can understand it. Many of the builders right now are out at the lake building some of those big homes. Wood prices have skyrocketed. I would imagine other costs have gone up as well. And right now it's, I'm not saying anything bad about builders. They're just doing what they have to do. And there's only so many of them. And wood prices have hopefully do drop. I mean, that's plywood, that's the 2x4s, 2x6s, everything. It's all gone way up.
We bought 2 sheets of 5/8 plywood, 4 2x4s, and it was $187.
Yes. Yeah. You would never have expected those numbers even 6 months ago.
$23.99 for a sheet of 5/8 drywall.
Yep. Yeah.
So when you add that up into 2,000, 3,000 square feet, you're talking a little bit of money.
Yes, exactly. Like I say, this is not builders overcharging. This is everything is just escalated on them, and it caught them off guard too, I'm sure. I don't think if you'd ask any of them a year ago what they would be charging today, none of them would have said that number.
No.
Like I say, we've been caught off guard, and I think we have to take advantage of this of things that we've got right now and getting some other things going. And hopefully at some point wood prices drop, not just wood, building supply prices drop.
We have a comment here from one of our viewers. He says, I've got a young family, and with rent and bills and everything else, it's hard to even try and save up for a down payment. I love this city and can't wait for new things to come. I just hope I win the lotto.
Believe me, I know many people have said the same thing. I don't know what this man does for employment. I don't know what type of wages he got. Hopefully some of these other businesses coming to town will offer him something better where he'll be able to move on with his life and be able to afford to buy a house in the future. Yeah. And hopefully, I think with the number of houses that are going to be built, I mean, it might be, a person might have to get in on something smaller, maybe smaller lots, something like that, in order to get started. But I know how tough it is. I feel for you all.
So, Doug, you've heard about our program, and about the national and provincial awards that Experience Nicola Valley has just recently won for our community program.
Yeah.
We received many words of encouragement from the community. What have you heard about our program, and what do you think of the program and what it brings?
I didn't hear about your awards. I've never had a chance to congratulate you and your group. Those are very prestigious awards. I mean, the one for the Canadian one, and I understand that people have tuned in places like UK and Australia and New Zealand. I mean, though that's huge. You're getting the name, you're getting the Merritt name out there, and that's a very positive thing. Now, what we've got to do here as a city is find a way of getting new people, getting a way for them to stay, getting a way for them to be able to afford housing.
Yes.
And that's going to be a very difficult thing to do. I mean, I know for a fact that I was going to leave this to the end, but I want everybody to understand, these are my opinions, but I think that the council, for example, has had a very tough job. They've had to go do far more than most councils of recent history just because of what's happening. And that's not just what's happening development wise. It includes COVID. I mean, it's been a situation that, I mean, I think it's harmed all of us. I think nobody likes being locked up in a house and having to wear a mask, but it's things we have to do. So
No, this COVID has definitely thrown a wrench into everything, no matter.
yeah, so what I was going to say about, I think the public should understand there's always 2 or 3 sides to everything. And where they don't like the way a vote goes, for example, on a particular development or a bylaw, these councillors have got a tough job. And we're not going to like every vote. There's a vote or 2 that I didn't like. And I'm a developer or in favor of development. Yeah, I just think we have to be more understanding. I think we have to be, for example, I have read some things on the grapevine, for example. I didn't care for what some of the stuff I read, it's just as an example. And yeah, I think we just have to realize these are hard jobs by everybody. And I think if they do what they have to do, and when they're upset with something, send in letters and stuff. That's all we can expect, is for those to be read and hopefully viewed by the councillors in a nonpartisan way, so that they can make the right decisions. And who's to say what's right and wrong right now? I mean,
Right now, that's anybody's guess.
yeah, well, exactly my point. I mean, like I said, I've been disappointed in a few of the votes, and one of those disappointments was with the development that they voted to pass. That I had very strong feelings about that Forksdale development. I don't believe that should have passed, but that's my opinion, and I'm just a realtor in town, and yeah, not more I can say about that.
No.
No.
So, well, thank you, Doug, and it was great information. And before we let you go, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
I was going to close on that point about the council and the fact that, hey, we've got to be more open to the fact that they're doing a good job, and that they're just a tough job. Yeah, I hate seeing and reading articles and personal attacks against certain individuals. It's just very bothersome. And I think we're a better city than that. I truly do.
No, I think personal attacks in any level of government isn't right and isn't fair, but
no, I mean, to say that, oh, they ran for politics and therefore they should be open for criticism. Well, they can only take so much of that, and certain types of that. I mean, I've heard some very bad things that have happened, unsigned letters of threats. I mean, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody does.
no, and yeah, I don't understand myself, but
Yeah.
That's the way it goes, I guess.
Yeah. Well, as a council member, you might be dealing with it as well, and yeah, I mean, we just got to keep plugging along, and hopefully some of these things that are on the horizon occur, and there's new jobs and more money to be made by especially some of these young families that need to have more money coming into the household. And I think rental costs and stuff are absurd right now.
I think the big thing is to move forward with a positive attitude and with a positive view and future as to what we think can happen, and hopefully it'll be good for everybody.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this last little bit, and COVID included, has just been a blip. Because I mean, I hope things get back to a little bit more of what we were used to before. But like I say, I can't read the future.
No. Well, thank you, Doug, for joining us. This is Doug Beech from Century 21, and I think he provided us with some valuable information. And for all your real estate needs, it's Doug Beech at Moving Real Estate, Century21 at .ca.
And believe me, I'd like to hear from every one of you, especially if you're planning on selling or buying a piece of property.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you to our viewers for joining us tonight, and good luck to Mr. Merkley on the lotto. And word of mouth is valuable, so continue to spread the word that we are the best resource in the Valley for tourism and small businesses. Also, please make an effort to follow, share, and comment on our Experience Nicola Valley Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and or YouTube. Make sure to tune in next week, April 22nd, when Carol Norman, manager of Moonshadow Campground, will be our guest on the Nicola Valley Talk. Remember, every Thursday night, join us, same time, same place at 7 p.m. right here on Nicola Valley Talk. Take it away,
Well,
Tanya.
yeah. Well, Melva, I have to say you did an amazing job, and Doug Beech, I have to shout out to him that I was actually in one of his classes in high school, and he was a great teacher. Okay, well, stick around and we'll have a little chat. Okay, Doug. I'm going to shout out again to Melva for what a great host you have been, and to all our viewers that have been watching and staying with us. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink, and leave no trace behind, because merit matters. Sweet dreams, Nicola Valley. Thank you for your support. Good night.